Berlin. A winter coat, a travel bag, a red nose, and a broken heart. I'm standing on the platform at the train station. It's cold. My train is late and my socks are wet. I'm not quite sure how I got here or where I'm meant to go next. I met him 4 nights ago and he was the most beautiful boy I had ever seen. His name was Emmanuel, of course, and he came from Madrid. I'd been travelling by myself for 3 months. The great European adventure. London, Dublin, Paris, Prague, and then Berlin. I'd been saving for a year. Cafe work, bar work, babysitting. Mum and Dad said, don't go by yourself, it's too dangerous. Go on a tour, or at least with some girlfriends. I'll be fine, I told them. I'll meet people. But meeting people is harder than you think. I mean, I did meet people at hostels and stuff, but mainly other Australians. And it was fun for a night or two, but the boys just wanted to have sex. And I guess that's all right, but if I wanted to have sex with an Australian boy, I would have just stayed at Hallett Cove. So I visit the museums and the galleries, and I walk through the cobbled streets, and I sit in cafes trying to look mysterious, and everything is so beautiful. Everything is what I expected it to be, and yet somehow I want it to be more. I Skype home once a week and tell Mum and Dad what an amazing place Europe is. They've never been. I tell them I'm having the best time because I can't bear the thought of them being disappointed for me. When I Skype my brother Mark, I pretend the camera on my iPad is broken because he knows me and he'll see it in my face. He'll see that it's all a mess and he'll tell me to come home, but I can't go home, not yet. I mean, then I couldn't go home then because it would be such a defeat. I'm not quite sure what it's supposed to be. I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do. I keep wondering when it'll start. Life. When will life start? And then there he is, at a club, in mitt, dancing with his shirt off. And I think, wow, that guy can really dance. That guy is like fire. Then he looks over at me, and I am gone. I pretend not to be. Try to be cool, make it seem like I'm not interested, but I am so interested. And we dance until the sun comes up. And as we step out of the club and into the light, I think this is it. This is life. I am living. And I know he wants to take me home to his place or to his friend's place, to someone's place. I'm not quite sure whose place, but I say okay because at last I am living and I don't want life to stop. And when he kisses me, I want to cry because I've never been kissed like that. Not in Hallett Cove. And I've never been kissed where he kissed me. He seemed to know things, and for once it didn't seem to matter that I didn't. 3 days. 3 days we spent in bed, and after 3 days, I knew some things too. We don't even get up to eat, he just disappears and comes back with a bowl of cereal and 2 spoons. And that's all we eat. Cereal out of the same bowl for 3 days. And on the 3rd night, I watch him sleeping and I do that thing you shouldn't do. I think about the future. I imagine taking him home to meet Mum and Dad, my brothers and sister, and how they'll all love him like they love me, and how clever I am and brave to have found such a man, such a beautiful man, different but the same, and brought him all the way back to Hallet Cove. And then I'm so embarrassed, but suddenly there I am in our backyard with Dad's roses all around us, and I'm walking across the lawn on his arm, and he's got tears in his eyes, and Mum's there in a new dress which she never lets herself have. My sister Pip is there with her husband Steve and their 2 girls. She got married in the backyard too. And Mark, my oldest brother, who I adore, is there with his girlfriend Taylor. And then there's Ben, my other brother, who's there with a girl who's new and won't last, because they just don't with Ben, and I love them all so much. Sometimes I think too much, if you can love too much. But now I have to make room for Manuel, who is standing there in a suit, and he is just so handsome, and I'm wearing a white dress, and I'm kind of surprised, kind of shocked, because I never even knew that that's what I wanted. And maybe it's not what I want, it's what I think Mum and Dad will want for me. But anyway, I'm there in a white dress on my father's arm, walking across the lawn, and then he wakes up and he looks at me as if he knows what I'm thinking, and as if he wants to get up and run. And so I kiss him on the lips before he can. And he smiles, and I am gone all over again. And we make love so tenderly, so sweetly. And after, as I lie on his chest, drifting off to sleep, listening to the beat of his heart, thinking I could listen to this for the rest of my life, I think, is this it? Is this what falling in love is? And when I wake up in the morning, he's gone, along with 400 euros from my wallet, my iPad, my camera, my favourite scarf, and a large piece of my heart. I find a girl in the house smoking a cigarette at the kitchen table and ask her if she's seen him. She shrugs and says he said something about going to see his girlfriend in London. She tells me to get my things and to get out of her house. I walk through the streets of Berlin. I feel small. I feel like I'm 12 years old. I feel ridiculous. I want to cry, but I won't. Well, I do. A bit. Not as much as I want to. I want my dad. I want my mum. I want my brothers and my sister. I want to hear them laugh and argue and fight and tease me, but I can't think of them much because my chest will explode. I feel like I'm gonna literally fall to pieces, that my arms are gonna drop off, and then my legs, and then my head. And so to keep myself from coming apart, I make a list of all the things I know. I mean, actually know for certain to be true. And the really frightening thing is, it's a very short list. I don't know much at all, but I know that at 25 Windry Avenue, Hallet Cove, things are the same as when I left, and they always will be. And I know that I have to go home.